All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What is going on, everybody? We're back with the Monday edition of the MLB Witching Hour Show. We got the background music. I'll go ahead and pause that. Want to get you guys a little pumped up for this Monday MLB show when we got 2 NFL games. We know it's the real grinders in here. We know it's that September low before playoff baseball, but we're going to bring you the winners. We're going to break it down each and every day. Hamwich, I got my guy with me. How we doing, man? How was your weekend? How was the NFL? You excited for these games tonight? You have a good weekend with the family? What's going on, man?
Yeah, no, going good. Great weekend. I see my boy Gator Nation 15, Tim Tebow in the chat right there. I know he had a much better weekend than I did. Those Gators just laid it on those balls. Week 2 was awesome as advertised. Ready to talk some MLB winners, though. We got some winners for you today, so looking forward to that as well.
Yeah. Got winners indeed. We always have the winners over here. Right off the top, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Helps us out a ton. And then I'm going to go ahead and once Hamlin's talking, I'm going to go ahead and drop the Mayo Media Network YouTube channel link for the Monday Night Football Showdown show, which was actually a 2-game breakdown with the 2-game slate tonight. $1 million up top. So, hey, 2-game slate, $1 million up top, $20 into a milli. That'd be quite the start to your week here on September 18th. But we got 8 baseball games on tap today. I got the content already up over on the site for MLB because we don't take slates off here, even with NFL. Obviously, we know baseball is not the forefront tonight, but we're still going to bring you the winners. We're going to talk starting pitching like we always do here. DraftKings pricing, we're going to break it down. Then we'll go game by game. We'll get on out of here, give you guys enough time to build your lineups, get those submitted, get those locked in, and then go ahead and head over and check out our guys, Hoop, Tambo, and Tito, who broke down both the football games tonight, which on paper, man, they don't seem very exciting, but it's always exciting to have football on the television. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's get it done. Let's go starting pitching, and we're going to go 8K and above. I like a couple of these guys up here. A couple of these guys going to get ownership. We got Jordan Montgomery down at the bottom, Lance Lynn, Waka, Erod, Verlander, Wheeler, and Freddie Peralta all the way up at the top at 11-3. The 3 guys that are going to get ownership in this range, Waka is going to be 30, 35%. Lance Lynn going to be clear-cut the chalk of the slate, probably 40 to 50% owned. So hit on him for sure. And then Jordan Montgomery is going to garner some ownership as well, but does get that Boston lineup against a lefty outside of Fenway, which there's a lot of strikeouts to be had in that lineup. So hit on those 3 in particular. Then hit on an unowned Freddie Peralta all the way up at the top against those Cardinals here in St. Louis. And he could arguably have the most upside of anyone on the slate. Where are you going at this top tier here, Hamwich?
Yeah, you mentioned, I mean, Freddie Peralta has just been absolutely dynamic over the last 30 days, striking out both sides of the plate over 32%. He's going to be unowned, Nades. We got to have some interest in him. I know he's your guy playing there for the Brewers. Lance Lynn, I really like Lance Lynn. I heard you talk about him. He is going to be mega chalk. Facing this Tigers team we picked on all season long outside of Torkelson, I'm not really afraid of anybody on that Tigers team. So I have some interest in Lance Lynn. I also have some interest in JV, Justin Verlander, who I normally don't have a lot of interest in, but I think I'm going to like him tonight just with the way the slate's breaking down. I do have some interest in Verlander. Then the last guy that I'll touch on up in this range is going to be Zach Wheeler. I know our metrics over here at SHIPIT Nation really like him tonight, and he's been really good in 3 out of his last 4 starts. I understand his last start out, he did face this same Braves team, and it did not go well for him. That was in Citizens Bank. Now he's on the road in Atlanta. I'm going to go back to Zach Wheeler and think that he can get us that upside that I know he has high K upside. He's thrown 10 Ks in 2 of his last 4 games. So give me Zach Wheeler. This Braves team is dynamite. Don't get me wrong. I understand that, but you'll get him super low owned. This is a contrarian / GPP type of play only. No interest in cash with Zach Wheeler tonight.
Yeah, I think you can live on this range, to be honest, in starting pitching. I do think once we get down lower, overall, I think this is a pretty deep pitching slate, right? We got Brian Wu, we got JP Sears down low that are both going to garner some ownership, both get good matchups there in that same game, back and forth there. But I do have a lot of interest in Freddie Peralta, sub 10% ownership on him. And you can argue he's been the best pitcher as of late for sure on this slate. And not many people want to go to him due to the price point. There is some cheap bats you can play. Brewers obviously get Mr. Corpse Wainwright there for those Cardinals. Sorry to any Cardinals fans in the chat there. They're absolutely abysmal. So Freddie Peralta, I do like Freddie Peralta when you consider all things. One of my lineups does spend up for Freddie. He's got the most upside in my opinion on the slate here. I'm out on Zach Wheeler, JV. Out on those guys. I do think Jordan Montgomery might come in as my second favorite pitcher here. Just looking at the matchup, I mean, these Red Sox have the best strikeout matchup on the board for starting pitching, especially with this projected lineup. I haven't seen if the confirmed lineup is in play for these Red Sox right now. Yeah, but this projected lineup, I mean, Bobby Dahlbeck, Reese McGuire, Trevor Story, limited sample, but these guys all high strikeout bats. Adam Duvall strikes out over 30% against lefties on the road this season. And I just, Texas, I think Texas will give them some run support there. So 8K there. Yeah, I get it. Hasn't had the best season, Montgomery. He's not the greatest pitcher overall, but I do like him. Lance Lynn, I think that's chalk worth eating. Should have run support behind him with those Dodgers there. Gets the Detroit matchup, has strikeouts there. I think that is good chalk. Waka, I think, is fine too. Obviously, you get the Rockies, 27.5% strikeout rate on the road this season against right-handed pitching. Waka sitting right around 22% K rate on the year, limits hard contact. Not really scared of these Rockies outside of Coors Field for sure. I like the Padres bats quite a bit as well. So I do actually have a decent amount of interest in kind of all four of those guys, Montgomery, Lynn, Waka, and Peralta. Kind of out on the other three. I know you had some interest there. So if I wouldn't fault anyone for going JV over Peralta. I just think Peralta has more upside, has a better K rate, and not really too afraid of the Cardinals offense. Much rather play against the Cardinals than the Orioles offense, to be honest with you. Orioles have been swinging a pretty hot stick over the last month or so of the season here. Let's touch on the cheaper tier. Two guys I want to throw in particular for sure. Brian Wu, JP Sears, pretty much the only two guys down here going to get any ownership. You got other guys down here. Cutter Crawford, I know we played him quite a bit, but he is at Texas there. Texas at home against a righty. Always want to mention that. And then you got Clevenger against Washington. Washington just doesn't strike out a lot, but it is Clevenger. He's been okay. So any interest in these lower tier, especially JP Sears and Brian Wu in that same game there?
Yeah, no, I'm actually out on Brian Wu. He's really topping out mid-80s pitches. I think he threw 83 last time out. So he just has to be very efficient in order to get, to pay off his price tag. I mean, obviously he's facing this A's team who he dominated, I think, 2 or 3 starts ago, but he's just got to be very efficient at that price tag. So I'm actually out on Wu, especially on FanDuel where I play most of the time with a one-pitcher site. No Wu for me. I think if we're doing if we're doing low-owned pitchers down here, I mean, Cutter Crawford would be where I go, and you and I have talked about it at length. Righties at Texas, that's the place to go to die, and Cutter Crawford's obviously a righty, but he threw very well his last game, and I think I'm going to go back to the well tonight on my 1 or 2 teams I'm going to play on DK, and maybe throw a Cutter Crawford in there. I haven't built lineups yet, but just depending on who I want to play, that's a good price tag, 6'2". Not too bad. Cutter Crawford would be kind of my low-owned guy tonight.
Yeah, just looking at Cutter Crawford a little bit more here, just looking into it. Over the last 30 days, striking out over 32% of right-hand hitters. Obviously, doesn't face a ton of them here, at least with this projected lineup. I mean, there's quite a bit of lefties in there. Seager, Nathaniel Lowe, Robbie Grossman, obviously a switch hitter there. Jonah Heim, switch hitter. Tavares, Evan Carter, all switch hitters. So I wish he'd have more righties there because he's only striking out 17.9% of left-handed bats. But he also just doesn't get he hasn't been getting hit for power, but he also hasn't been keeping the ball on the ground. So maybe, at his price point, could he go out there at 6,200, get us 12 to 15, maybe pick up a couple of those right-handed strikeouts in there. But the righties that he's facing is Marcus Semien, low strikeout bat, Mitch Garver, decent strikeouts there, Josh Young. So maybe if he could strike out Garver and Josh Young there a couple of times, that could be enough to mitigate maybe a couple runs that he does give up. So don't hate that at 6,200. I do actually like JP Sears quite a bit here. This Seattle lineup, there's just a lot of strikeouts. I mean, 30%, 31% strikeout rate against left-handed pitching on the road this season. It does come with some power risk there, but JP Sears, I think, is a decent real-life pitcher. Again, a lefty against these Mariners. I do like that. Brian Wu, I actually do have some interest. I mean, it's just a price point for me. 7,200, I get it, right? 80 to 85 pitches likely. But there's a lot of strikeouts. I mean, 28% K rate for these Athletics on the road. Good pitchers park there in Oakland. So I do have interest in him, to be honest with you. I just think he can do enough. It's just more of a floor slate for me, I think. And I think he has a decent floor at the price point in the matchup. So I do have interest there. And then, Cutter Crawford, if you're trying to go off the board here with a low-owned guy. But I think you can differentiate a little bit on stacks and just kind of eat some more of the chalk at this point of the season is kind of how I've been approaching baseball, and it's been working pretty good. So let's go ahead and rank our top 4 pitchers for the people, and then we'll go game by game.
Hey, real quick, and neither one of us touched on him, but John Means throwing his second game of the season through 75 pitches. We really like him over here at SHIPITNation.com. Ranks very well. What's your take on him tonight? Because I didn't really dig too much into him. Do you have a lean on John Means?
I didn't dig too much into him, but he did throw a decent amount, right? 75 pitches. But now, I mean, him pitching against Houston, I just think there's way better spots, to be honest, to attack, especially he's going into Houston. Houston's been one of the best, actually, I think they have been over the last month, the best offense in baseball. I just think there's better spots, and he's 6,500. I think I'd rather just find $200, get to Sear, or save $300 and just play Cutter Crawford against Texas there, to be honest with you, but won't be the craziest thing.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. I mean, just looking at the stats that we have over here, he's I'll give it to the people, Nate. He's number 1 in our rankings. I just don't see how he got there, but sometimes you just got
to limited sample. It's limited sample size. Limited sample size. That's why.
Because those metrics don't really pan out. And then the more I think about it, the more I look at Lance Lynn. I mean, what kind of ownership percentage are you seeing on him? I mean, his Ks have just fallen off a cliff. And that's the name of the game in DFS. And I don't love these Tigers, but I mean, as a leverage spot, what kind of ownership are we seeing on Lance Lynn?
Yeah, I mean, now that you say it, Lance Lynn over the last month, 5% strikeout rate, which is not good. Obviously, he gets a boosted matchup here in Detroit. But yeah, Lance Lynn's going to be 50+% owned probably here, 45, 50% owned. He's the guy that pretty much everyone's kind of starting their teams with. So it's going to be him. And then probably one of Montgomery or Waka, to be honest, or Brian Wu, to be honest, is where people are. Not too many people are going up to the top of the board in that Erod, Verlander, Wheeler, Peralta range. Everyone's kind of starting with Waka or Lance Lynn and then grabbing Brian Wu or Montgomery to build their teams.
I think we as a Ship It Nation need to revolt against that. Get Kerry Carpenter in your lineups. Get Spencer Torkelson in your lineups. We're going to see Ship It Nation logos at the top. We're fading Lance Lynn, or at least I am over here at Ship It Nation. Hopefully Nades and the rest of the crew's with me. But, yeah, man, I don't like Lance Lynn at all after looking at that. Sorry. So what are we doing next? We're ranking pitchers?
Yes, rank the pitchers.
Ranking pitchers. Number 1 for me is going to be I'm going to go to Freddie Peralta. If I'm out on Lance Lynn, give me Freddie Peralta would be my number 1. Number 2 for me would be Justin Verlander. Number 3 for me would be Zach Wheeler taking on those Braves. And if I had to do a 4th on DK, I think I'm going to end up doing 2 teams on DK, and I'm going to have Cutter Crawford in one of those teams. So that would be my 3 main pitchers, and then Cutter Crawford would be my low-owned pitcher.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown. Considering ownership, considering salary, I'm going Jordan Montgomery, number 1. I like the matchup there against Boston outside of Fenway. Freddie Peralta, number 2 for me. I'll do JP Sears, 3, and then Brian Wu, number 4. You can substitute Waka in there over Wu if you don't agree with Brian Wu's pitch count, right? 83 has been his average in terms of pitches. But I think he can be efficient enough at just $7,200. So that's my ranking. Let's jump into game by game. We appreciate everyone tuning in. We see Reezer in the chat, Gator Nation, Richie Smalls, Colin, Andrew Martinez, Tweezy, Aaron, some real baseball grinders in there. I know, Ash, you're out there watching too. I appreciate that. Sorry, no Royals talk on this slate for you. We like to slander the Royals enough, but it's hard to slander them when they're not on the slate here. First game, the White Sox heading into Washington to face the Nationals. Jonah Don on the mound, Clevenger on the mound for the White Sox. 4.7 implied run total here for the White Sox, 4.4 for the Nationals. Decent implied run totals on both sides here. Haven't looked at the weather too much, but these White Sox, I mean, definitely have the worst pitcher that they're facing in Jonah Don here. But I just can't get too excited to play Chicago White Sox lineup really ever all season long. I haven't played them. Do you see something I'm missing in this one?
Yeah, what I would say about Jonah Don is he's got a 10% barrel rate, which is pretty good on the slate. It's tough to play those White Sox. The only one that I would have interest in would be maybe a one-off Luis Robert. So I don't mind Robert there batting in the third hole, I think. Is that lineup confirmed? Yeah, confirmed lineup. He's batting third. And then on the flip side, I mean, Clevenger, he's been kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, if you will, up and down, roller coaster. I'm not playing these Nats, but like you said it earlier when we were going through pitchers, they just don't strike out a whole ton. So I think I'm going to pass on Clevenger. I think there's better options out there. 7,600 though, it wouldn't be the craziest thing. So no Nats, and then only Luis Robert as a one-off.
Yeah, I actually don't hate Andrew Vaughn looking at this. I mean, over the last month, Adon striking out just 13.5% of righties. Doesn't get a ton of power, but low ground ball rate, decent fly ball rate, and Andrew Vaughn 275 expected ISO over the last month against righties. So don't think he's the craziest there in the sixth spot. You could do a little Eloy, Yohan Moncada, Andrew Vaughn. You can always add in Luis Robert there for a little four-man stack in the heart of that lineup that I don't think anyone really goes to too much looking at it. But projected ownership projections do say differently, at least from where I'm looking. Chicago does seem to be a top 3 owned stack on the slate. So maybe that's a good fade spot here. It is a pretty crappy offense here. And looking at the weather here in Washington, looks to be about 70 degrees, dropping off into the 60s by the end of game time, wind kind of blowing across the field. So not the greatest hitting environment either, which is probably pretty standard on the slate right now, at least this time of year in September, end of September here. So overall, lower on this game than some other games. Next game on the slate, though, it is a high, powerful offense here in Truist Park. It's the Braves. It's the Phillies. Kyle Wright on the mound for the Braves here. Gets hit pretty hard. I like these Phillies quite a bit tonight. And then the Braves, you can always play the Braves, but they do face one of the best pitchers on the slate, in my opinion, here in Zach Wheeler. Limits hard contact, good strikeout rate, great real-life pitcher. It's still the Atlanta offense under-owned because they are expensive against a good pitcher here. You can make a case. I mean, they are still implied to score 4.8 runs. Vegas does think they can get to Wheeler a little bit, who has been a little bit Wheeler can be hit around. So I don't think it's the craziest, but the Phillies definitely one of my favorite stacks of the night here against Kyle Wright, guaranteed ninth inning at bats in Truist Park. Are you with me?
Yeah, just looking at this, I mean, I don't think the Phillies are the craziest thing. I mean, Kyle Wright is a good pitcher. He's not a great pitcher. He's been hurt this season, so I don't mind the Phillies at all. And then just looking at the Braves would just be a one-off for me. And I would go reverse splits tonight. I would think Ron Acuna Jr. as a one-off would be okay. Very interested in that. Wheeler gives up a lot more fly balls, a lot more power to righties. So give me Ron batting leadoff, and then Austin Riley in the 3-hole. I would take one or the other, but not both. And I would probably side with Ron just based off his power and speed upside and potential more ABs tonight. So give me Ron as a one-off. Give me these lefties. I mean, obviously the main suspects. Just looking at this Phillies lineup, I don't think I would go much past. Oh, wow, they got Castellanos batting 7th tonight. I mean, I think 1 through 7 would be in play. Me personally wouldn't play Brandon Marshall or Johan Rojas, but I don't think they're the worst plays. They will not be my number one stack of the day, though.
Yeah, I like them. I definitely love those top 5 a lot. Bryson Stott, Bohm, Harper, Trey Turner, Schwarber. Pretty good chance. One of those 3 or 2 of those 3 up at the top, Schwarber, Trey Turner, Harper, hit a home run here tonight against Wright. They've been smashing the baseball, smashing right-handed pitching over last month, and now get a pitcher who's making his second start back, I think, after being injured here. So I do like the Phillies quite a bit. And then on the Braves side, obviously the usual suspects. My favorite bat would be Matt Olson, like you said, or I always like Michael Harris down there. Eddie Rosario is still 4K flat with some home run power there, so don't hate that. But yeah, Phillies side is definitely my lean in this one in terms of bats for stacks. Next game on the slate, we have the chalk of the slate here. It's the Milwaukee Brewers heading into St. Louis to face Adam Wainwright. Wainwright should not be a starting pitcher. He served his time. He had a great career. He needs to hang it up, put his hat on the shelf, and sit back, go to the golf course, play some golf. But it's still it's still the Brewers offense. They haven't been exactly great, but I do love the Brewers here tonight. Even with their ownership, you can get different. Play some of it. Maybe you play Cutter Crawford. Maybe you spend up for Freddie Peralta and then 5-stack the Brewers, right? Make that work. Just go basically an onslaught with the Brewers. You can definitely do that. And then Cardinals side, don't really feel the need to pick on Freddie Peralta, to be honest. I think there's much better spots. So Brewers are pass for me in this one pretty much. Do you see something I'm missing?
Yeah, no Cardinals for me. They don't strike out a whole ton, so I maybe need to reevaluate that on Freddie Peralta. But man, Wainwright, Nades, I think in about 3-4 weeks you're going to get your wish. I think his career's coming to an end once this season is over. But could this be his last start in a Cardinals uniform at Busch Stadium? I don't think so, just because we got, like I said, 2 or 3 weeks left of the season. But maybe the way the rotation works, I'm not betting on Wainwright's last start in Busch Stadium. I mean, he's going to win that one. I'll guarantee you that. So is that tonight? He's going to shut these Brewers down. I don't like the Brewers tonight, Nate. I'm gonna fade you and your Brewers and the whole. I was going to say state of Milwaukee and the whole state of Wisconsin. No Brewers for me tonight in my lineups.
Yeah, you see, when I'm on the opposite side of Mr. Hamwich here, it's been pretty well for me. So I'm going to stay on my Brewers. Brewers are going to ship tonight. William Contreras, Santana, Willie Adames, Mark Canha, I love him. Christian Yelich, 1 through 9 are in play. Josh Donaldson, if he's in there, don't see the confirmed lineup, but Josh Donaldson, you can book it. He's hitting a home run tonight against Wainwright here, so I do like him. Hopefully he is in that lineup. But yeah, I like the Brewers here in Busch Stadium against.
I hope Josh Donaldson's in that lineup for you too, because if he is, he's going to have 0 for 4 with like 3 ground outs.
Zero chance. But we'll see what happens. Time will tell, mister. I'll be watching the NFL games, have the Brewers up on my laptop, and be watching that game. Next game on the slate here, we have those Rangers at home against the righty here, Cutter Crawford. He can blow up, but he's been pretty solid as of late. Red Sox, I think, are an easy stay-away spot for me personally against Montgomery. I do like Montgomery at the price point. Ownership's going to be there, but I think he has the strikeout upside on this slate, considering the matchup, considering the salary. So no Red Sox bats for me. But I do have to mention Rafaela, the outfield shortstop for the Red Sox, batting leadoff, 3,500. The dude's been crushing the baseball. And he's still 3,500, fills a pretty weak shortstop position. So in lineups, you're not playing Montgomery, wouldn't hate him, obviously, or Rafi Devers, a little 1-2 stack there. You could do that. And Rangers, I think, are definitely interesting. Corey Seager's been one of the best hitters in baseball. He is all the way up to 6,700 at that shortstop position, but he has just as much upside as anyone, including Ronald Acuna on this slate. You can always play him. It's still the tale stays true. Rangers been slumping a little bit over the last month, but they still are one of the best hitting offenses in baseball, in my opinion, especially at home against a right-handed pitcher. Do you have interest in these Texas bats?
Hey, real quick, the chat's giving me hell, Nades. I got my guy Gator Nation talking trash, just rubbing salt in the wound down there, saying the Brewers are going to do what Florida did to Tennessee. I hope not. Then Aaron Rasmus wants to play head-to-head. Hey, Aaron, I'm like Prime, Coach Prime. I ain't hard to find. Hamwich 8 in both lobbies. So send me an invite. We'll go head-to-head, baby. You got to stack those Brewers up. But this should be a good game. Rafaela, I'm surprised you're not playing your boy who shipped you all that money. Let's remind the folks, last week you had Rafaela, I think as a one-off or maybe as part of a 2, that shipped you all that money last week. But, eight righties tonight for those Red Sox. Gets Montgomery. Really no interest in him. I will mention Rafael Devers, of all people, lefty. He's got an expected ISO right near 300. So don't mind him. And then I'm going to be lower on these Rangers. We've talked about it over the last couple of weeks. They're just not the same offense that they once were. They were a well-oiled machine in the middle of the summer. Now they're kind of slowing down. Doesn't take a rocket scientist. Corey Seager, you can play him every single night. So Corey Seager would kind of be the limit of my exposure to this Rangers lineup.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown. Kind of in lockstep a little bit. Don't think the Rangers are the craziest. They are implied to score over 4.5 runs, 4.8. We have them at here against Crawford, but definitely think there's better offenses in the slate, including this next one. I like these Astros against John Means. Just don't think Means is any good personally. Would have zero interest in him. These Orioles, I think, are a stay away spot for me against Verlander. Obviously, it's good offense, but implied to score right around 3.5 runs. Verlander, good enough real life pitcher, I think. Not that he has the strikeout upside some of these other pitchers do. He just hasn't had the K rate this season. He's not the Verlander of years past where he's striking out 28, 30+% of hitters. Sitting right around 21% on the season. Just think there's better spots than to play these Orioles. So I'm out on the Orioles, but the Astros bats I do like quite a bit here against John Means. 1 through 9 are in play. I definitely like Maldonado down there in the 9 spot at the catcher position. He's been pretty good. If you check his game logs, I've been watching the games. He's been pretty good. He's won me a decent chunk of money over the last month. So 2,700 for him at the catcher position. I like him. Chas McCormick has good numbers there. 1 through 9 are in play for these Astros. I do like them quite a bit here. Do you see anything I'm missing?
Yeah, the only thing I would say is I do have a little bit of interest in Verlander. He does give up tons of fly balls and tons of power to the left-handed side. And we always talk about fly ball rate. And those Orioles are tailor-made for lefties. I mean, a lot of their pop, a lot of their power. I see someone mentioned Gunnar Henderson, your boy Gunnar Henderson in the chat. So I don't mind these lefties if you wanted to get different for this Orioles team. And then the Astros, like you said, I mean, they've been hot over the last 30 days. I think you could really play anybody 1 through 9, like you said. Yordan, Kyle Tucker. Very much in play against John Means tonight for these Astros. And then I'm going to take a deeper look at these lefties and see how they match up versus Verlander.
Yeah, no, great breakdown for sure. I definitely agree. A couple games left. Again, if you are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you have not already, we appreciate that a ton. I'm going to pull this up on the screen real quick here. If you guys haven't signed up for SHIPITNation.com, again, you're a little bit weary to drop that $69 a month or $6.99 for the entire year long, or that 6-month package that we have on there. You can get in for just $19, get you a 5-day trial period. Obviously, you'll get the Monday Night Football content tonight. You'll get all of our baseball content. It'll include Thursday Night Football. It'll include a lot of our main slate NFL stuff, at least the preliminary stuff, as we do get our content up nice and early for our members over here at SHIPITNation.com. The only thing you do not get with this $19 package is the Discord, the premium chat, where myself, Hamwich, Title, Tambo, Hoop, everyone's in the chat talking, discussing, answering questions, talking game theory, along with many other members. No Discord access, but gets your feet wet, gets you a chance to see all of our tools, all of our content, including the 4-hour NFL course that Hoop and Tambo do break down, that talks about game theory, talks about everything you need to have success with NFL DFS. So $19 a month, SHIPITNation.com. You'll see that. Try us out before you make a commitment. We think it's the best place to be in the industry, but we understand some people like to try things before they fully commit to something. So we did add a 5-day trial period there for you. Let's go ahead and talk about next game. One of the sides in this game, one of my favorite stacks, probably my second or probably pretty close to my favorite stack of the night in the Padres here against Ty Block. I just don't think Ty Block's any good. Rockies, easy cross-off spot for me against Waka. But I love the Padres side in this game. 1 through 9 firmly in play for me. Their projected lineup looks to be loaded with righties, 8 righties projected to be against Ty Block here. I love these Padres. Everyone in play for me. Are you with me?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would imagine the Padres are going to be highly owned tonight, especially the big dogs, Tatis, Machado, Soto. I don't mind the lefties actually tonight. So if you can get any of those lefties, I know you often talk about Trent Grisham being in there. I don't know. I don't see him in the projected lineup, but any lefty I'm okay with. So Soto and anybody else, I only see him as the only projected lefty, but really like these Padres tonight. Ty Block is no good. And then we haven't played Rockies all season long, especially outside of Coors. So no interest in the Rockies bats tonight.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown for sure. I'm with you. Yeah, 1 through 9. No Rockies for me. Not even a one-off. I just think I would rather go to like a one-off in those Orioles, like Gunnar Henderson, Ryan O'Hearn, something like that against Verlander's fly balls to lefties, than pick on that. 2 games left on the slate. Seattle, Oakland, next game. Not too much interest in terms of bats for me. Brian Wu, JP Sears had a little interest in both starting pitchers here. Not the greatest hitting environment, not the greatest hitters park, but overall there's not too many great spots on the slate in terms of hitting and weather. Seattle, sure, you can home run hunt here, but a team that strikes out 31%, just hard to really stack up a team like that, right? There's strikeouts, ground ball, double play out of the inning. Really hard to manufacture runs when you got a lot of strikeout bats in there. So this game for bats for me, can't play everyone on a short slate like this. I'm not playing this one. Easy stay away spot for me.
Yeah, just a couple names I want to throw out there. First, for the Mariners, I don't mind Cal Raleigh if he's batting third, and then also Dylan Moore, who we've used a lot in the. I know that the tools over here at SHIPIT Nation, we really like Dylan Moore, especially against a lefty. So those would be the 2 for the Mariners if you wanted a home run hunt, like you alluded to. And the 2 names I want to throw out should be batting cleanup, should be batting in the 5-hole. Seth Brown, Shea Langeliers. Every time I looked up this weekend, I felt like Shea Langeliers was hitting home runs. So those would be the 4 that I would kind of pick out as a one-off in this game.
You can always play my guy, Lawrence Butler, 2,200. He's just super value. Can hit some home runs there, has some power. So wouldn't hate him.
He can hit some home runs. He just hasn't done it in the last 7 days when I've rostered him every night because of you.
Right. Hey, well, that's all right. You jump off him tonight, and I will. I'll shove it in your face when he hits a home run. I'll send you a message right away. Instantly tag you about 16 times, so you get all those notifications as well. A little double extra to rub it in your face there. Last game of the slate, we have Detroit heading across to LA to face the Dodgers at home here. Dodgers, Lance Lynn on the mound, Erod on the mound, who ranks very well in our metrics over here, but it is still a high-powered Dodgers offense here against the lefty. A couple of notes to throw out. Chris Taylor, historic lefty master. JD Martinez smashes lefties. But this projected lineup for these Dodgers is pretty weak overall. So if this lineup does stay true, I think you can definitely take a look at Erod here at no ownership at all at 9,400 against the Dodgers. Everyone's going to see the Dodgers name, say, nah, easy stay away spot for me. I wouldn't think that's the craziest because right now, no Freddie Freeman, no Max Muncy, no Mookie Betts in that projected lineup. So if that does stay true, I think Erod definitely moves up the board a little bit in my eyes. Overall, not a ton of interest. I will throw out 2 guys on the Tigers side. You already mentioned them earlier, Spencer Torkelson, Kerry Carpenter. Double leverage situation. Both of them hit righties very well, especially on the road. Spencer Torkelson, G. Risen's boy. He's been forever holding on to those rookie cards, hoping he's going to make it. And he's definitely been better this season. So hit on those Tigers, hit on the Dodgers last game of the night.
Yeah. I mean, no Mookie, no Freddie, no Max Muncy. I mean, they're basically playing the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. So, I mean, are you going to take Erod versus the Pittsburgh Pirates? I think that answer is yes. So I have tons of interest in Erod if that's truly the case with none of those guys. And then, oh man, Nades, I'm kind of nervous because I hope Lance Lynn's 50% owned because I'm going to take Spencer Torkelson, I'm going to take Kerry Carpenter, and hopefully 2 other lefties at the top of the lineup, and we're going to ship tonight with these Tigers if Lance Lynn is truly going to be 50%, and I can get Torkelson and 3 lefties. We're going to win it all, baby. So let's hope for that. Let's pair him with Erod facing these Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. Let's ship all the money tonight with these Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, definitely going to be low on there. So that's the whole slate. Obviously, we flew through it here, gave you everything you needed to. We'll jump into our low on pitcher, our home run call, get on out of here, give you guys everything. We'll be in the Discord answering questions. All my content's already up on the site. If you have any questions, tag me in the Discord if you are a member, and I would be happy to assist you here. Hamwich, I'll kick it over to you. Your low on pitcher call of the evening.
Well, yes, Andrew, I meant the Dodgers. I was saying without Mookie, without Freddie Freeman, without Max Muncy, he's basically facing the Pirates. But yes, that is the Dodgers. And my low-owned pitcher of the night, if those 3 are truly going to be out, it is going to be Erod, Eduardo Rodriguez, these Detroit Tigers. I really like him tonight, assuming those 3 are going to be out of the lineup.
See, I purposely did not bring up Erod when we broke down the pitching because I was going to go to him for my low owned. He ranks very good in our stuff over here, and you had to steal. I'm the host over here. I did the hosting duties, threw it to my guest first to give the play of the day, and he takes it. That's what happens. Next time I'm going first, I'll tell you that right now. But I'm going to go all the way up to the top of the board. I'm going to go Freddie Peralta. I just think Freddie Peralta has a ton of ceiling on the slate. I like those Brewers offense. We're different there. I think you can definitely pair those Brewers with Freddie. I think Freddie posts a big number here, 25 DraftKings points at least on this slate. Throw it to you first. Again, I'll do my wonders. Give it to you. Your home run call of the evening.
I wasn't ready for that, but my home run call of the evening. I think it's cheating taking my Tigers. I know they're going to be the best today. I'm going to go out west. I'm going to go west, young man. I'm going to say Fernando Tatis is going to take Ty Block deep tonight. Give me Fernando.
Well, I'm going to pair one up. I'll give a bonus one on my Brewers. I'm going to go Carlos Santana there, a little lefty in that matchup. Going to hit one deep off of Waino there in St. Louis, but a little stack. Projected to hit in the 4 spot. We talked about shortstop. You can play this guy at shortstop. It's going to be the cleanup spot for Manny Machado. He's going to go deep off a block as well. I love the Padres here tonight. That's going to do it for the show. We appreciate everyone in here that is grinding September baseball with us with Monday Night Football on. Good luck tonight in your contest for Hamwich. I am Nades. We'll see you guys next time. Let's ship it.